Welcome to a heartwarming tale about an extraordinary cat named Lily, whose kindness and bravery will leave you speechless. Let me introduce you to Lily, a special cat with caramel-colored fur that gleams like sunshine and sparkling emerald eyes that could melt anyone's heart. She isn't just any ordinary cat, though. Lily is part of the Anderson family, living in their cozy home with Sarah, Mike, and their little girl Grace. Now, let's rewind to when it all began. One cold winter's day, a tiny kitten was found shivering near a grocery store. It was Grace who first noticed the helpless little creature, her heart immediately going out to her. Grace begged her parents to adopt the kitten, and after a few convincing pleas, Lily found her forever home. Lily, though shy at first, grew close to Grace, and as time passed, her unique personality started to shine through. She wasn't just cute, she was smart. Lily learned how to unlatch doors, toggle light switches, and even delivered Grace's school backpack every morning, like a mini helper. But that wasn't all. Lily was also incredibly compassionate. Whether it was nursing a wounded bird back to health or rescuing a helpless nest of baby squirrels during a storm, Lily's nurturing instinct was clear. From that moment on, she became known not just as a beloved pet but as a little hero, always there to care for those in need. This was no ordinary cat. This was Lily, the cat with a heart of gold. It didn't take long for the Anderson family to notice that something was off with Lily. One moment, she was her usual playful self, and the next, she began acting strangely. Perched by the window for hours, staring out at the world with an air of melancholy, Lily wasn't her cheerful, curious self. She barely touched her food, and her once bright eyes seemed clouded with something unknown. Grace, ever the compassionate soul, was the first to pick up on these changes, but she couldn't quite figure out why her beloved cat was acting this way. Worried, the family decided to take Lily to the vet. What they learned there was both surprising and exciting. The vet, after examining her, broke the news. Lily was pregnant. It was a moment filled with mixed emotions. On one hand, the family was thrilled by the idea of tiny kittens, but on the other, there was concern. Would Lily be okay? Was this something they were prepared for? Excited yet anxious, the Andersons began preparing for the arrival of the kittens. Grace set up a cozy little nest in the corner, gathering blankets and cushions, while Mike, always practical, made sure they had special food and supplies ready for Lily. Sarah, ever attentive, kept a close eye on their furry family member, anxiously waiting for the big day to arrive. But as the day came and went, something unexpected happened. Something that would break the family's heart in ways they couldn't have anticipated. Lily, though heavily pregnant, did not return with the joy of motherhood they had expected. What was waiting for them in the corner of that nest was nothing like they imagined. The day they had all been waiting for finally arrived. Lily, in her quiet and graceful way, went into labor in the shed, as if she instinctively knew this was where she needed to be. The Andersons waited anxiously, hearts full of anticipation for the new lives that would soon grace their home. But as hours passed, and Lily emerged from the shed, it wasn't the sight of playful kittens that greeted them. Instead, they found Lily, exhausted and frail, carrying a heavy burden of sorrow. The kittens, tiny and still, lay lifeless in the cozy nest she had made for them. It was a crushing blow. The excitement of new life quickly turned to devastation as Grace and her parents realized what had happened. Lily's kittens were stillborn. The joy they had hoped for vanished in an instant, replaced by an overwhelming sadness that filled the air like a thick fog. What followed was something the Andersons never expected. Lily's grief. The once lively, spirited cat who had brought so much love and joy to their home was now withdrawn, her heart heavy with loss. She stayed by her kittens, licking their tiny bodies over and over, desperately trying to revive them, as though her love alone could bring them back. But despite her best efforts, the kittens didn't stir. The family tried everything they could to comfort Lily. Gentle words, soft touches, and treats, but nothing seemed to ease her sorrow. She remained distant, her eyes vacant and filled with an indescribable sadness. For days, she sat alone by the corner, lost in her grief, a shadow of the cat she once was. The Andersons felt helpless, watching as their beloved pet mourned her lost children. And in those moments, they came to realize just how deep the bond of love and motherhood truly ran. So deep that it hurt. Just when the Anderson family thought their hearts couldn't take any more surprises, something extraordinary happened. One afternoon, as Grace played in the yard, she heard a soft whimpering sound. At first, she thought it was a stray animal, but as she moved closer, her eyes widened in disbelief. There, carrying a tiny, trembling black puppy in her mouth, was Lily. Grace gasped, her heart skipping a beat. Lily, the cat who had lost her own kittens, was now carefully cradling this small puppy as if it were her own. The sight was so unexpected, so surreal, that for a moment, Grace couldn't process what was happening. Was this a dream? Had Lily really found a puppy? And where did it come from? The family was in complete shock, standing around the yard, staring at Lily as she gently placed the puppy down on the soft grass. She began nuzzling it, grooming it, and even nursing it with such tenderness that it left the Andersons speechless. The puppy, no more than a few days old, instinctively curled up against Lily, finding comfort in the warmth of her body. In that moment, the confusion set in. Where had this puppy come from? Should they take it to an animal shelter? Contact the authorities? But as the family debated what to do next, they all seemed to agree on one thing. They couldn't separate the two. Lily was already so attached, so deeply nurturing, and the bond she was forming with the puppy was undeniable. Lily's devotion to this tiny creature quickly became evident. Despite being a cat, she cared for the puppy just as she would have for her own kittens. She nursed it, kept it warm, and never left its side. It was astonishing to watch, especially when the vet, called in to assess the situation, confirmed what seemed impossible. Lily was indeed nursing the puppy. Her milk, surprisingly, suited the little one perfectly, proving that nature's bond isn't always confined to the same species. Lily's love and nurturing instinct were undeniable, and in that moment, the Anderson family understood that this was no ordinary cat. Lily had found a way to heal her broken heart, and in doing so, she had found a new purpose. It was a beautiful, unexpected change. A second chance at motherhood, and it was clear that nothing could break the fierce love Lily had for this little puppy. As the days passed, the unexpected continued to unfold. What started with one puppy soon turned into a small, growing family, and Lily's extraordinary role as a mother figure was undeniable. Over the course of several days, Lily kept bringing more puppies home, each one with dark fur, each just as small, fragile, and full of life as the last. With every new arrival, the Andersons were left in awe of Lily's determination and devotion. The family, however, was growing increasingly perplexed. Where were these puppies coming from? And why was Lily so intent on caring for them? Mike began to suspect that there might be a dog nearby. A stray, perhaps, who had recently given birth but wasn't able to care for her pups. Was it possible that Lily, with her innate nurturing instinct, was rescuing these puppies one by one, bringing them to safety? Sarah and Mike decided to investigate. They began asking around the neighborhood, but no one seemed to have answers. The mystery deepened with each new puppy that Lily brought home. Mike suggested that perhaps they should contact the authorities or animal shelters, but a part of him hesitated. Lily's bond with these puppies was real, and the idea of separating them just didn't feel right. Meanwhile, the news of Lily's unconventional mothering spread like wildfire through the local community. Some neighbors were moved by the cat's compassion, admiring her kindness and dedication to the puppies. People from all over came to visit, marveling at the sight of the tiny puppies cuddling close to Lily as she nursed them, the makeshift family growing stronger each day. But not everyone shared the same sentiment. Mrs. Parker, a rather opinionated woman who lived across the street, was openly suspicious of Lily's actions. She'd seen the cat skulking around late at night, carrying the puppies in her mouth, and she began spreading rumors, raising concerns that perhaps Lily was stealing the puppies from another dog. "This just isn't natural," she would mutter to anyone who would listen, casting a shadow of doubt over Lily's intentions. As the community divided, the Andersons felt the pressure mounting. Some admired Lily's extraordinary care, but others started to question her actions, wondering what was really going on behind the scenes. The family knew they had to get to the bottom of it, but with every new puppy and every new question, the mystery only seemed to deepen. As the days went on, the quiet neighborhood that had once been a peaceful haven began to stir with whispers and gossip. The Andersons, usually a quiet family, found themselves at the center of attention, and not all of it was positive. Some neighbors couldn't stop talking about Lily's unorthodox behavior. Mrs. Parker's suspicions spread like wildfire, and soon, more and more people started accusing Lily of stealing the puppies from other dogs. "A cat doesn't do this on its own," they murmured, casting side glances as they speculated about what might really be happening. But then there were the others, the ones who marveled at Lily's extraordinary instincts, admiring her compassion and the love she was showing to the tiny puppies. These neighbors believed Lily was a hero, a selfless mother who had taken it upon herself to save the puppies from harm. Grace, for one, had never been more proud of their beloved cat, but the uncertainty hanging in the air was starting to feel suffocating. Feeling the weight of the growing tension, Grace decided to investigate. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than they understood. Every day, she watched Lily closely, hoping to track her movements, to find out exactly where she was getting these puppies from. Grace even spent hours by the window, peering out at the yard, hoping to catch a glimpse of Lily's secret trips. It wasn't long before Grace's suspicions and the neighborhood chatter reached a boiling point. One afternoon, a knock came at the door, and when the Andersons opened it, they found a law enforcement officer standing on the porch, accompanied by a few concerned neighbors. The officer's presence only added to the already heightened tension. The family stood frozen for a moment, not knowing what to expect. Was the officer here to reprimand them for what Lily was doing? Would they take her away? Would the puppies be taken from the safety of their home? The Andersons' hearts raced as they exchanged nervous glances. This was the moment that everything could change. What would the officer think about Lily's unusual actions? With the weight of the community's suspicions on their shoulders, the family ushered the officer inside, their anxiety palpable. They had no idea how this would end, but they knew they had to stand by Lily. She had shown nothing but love and devotion to those puppies. How could they not defend her now? The atmosphere was thick with tension as the officer stepped into the Anderson household, his gaze scanning the room as neighbors peeked through their windows, waiting for answers. Grace, unable to bear the uncertainty any longer, decided to speak up. She told the officer about Lily's strange behavior, how she had been leaving the house late at night, disappearing into the darkness for hours, always returning with another puppy. Grace had her suspicions but needed someone to confirm what she thought might be true. "I believe she's going somewhere," Grace explained. "She keeps going to the abandoned house at the edge of town. I've seen her leave, and I think I know where she's been going." The officer listened intently, nodding thoughtfully. After a long pause, he decided to investigate. Mike, too, couldn't shake the feeling that there was something important to uncover, so he accompanied the officer on this new mission. Grace and her mother stayed behind, waiting anxiously, not knowing what to expect from the investigation. When the officer and Mike finally returned, their faces told a story of shock and revelation. The officer's voice was grave as he relayed the news. "We found the source of the puppies," he said, his words heavy with emotion. "An abandoned house on the outskirts of town. Inside, we found a sick, weak mother dog who had just given birth. She was too ill and frail to care for her puppies, leaving them vulnerable and alone." Grace's heart sank as the pieces fell into place. It wasn't that Lily had been stealing the puppies. No, she had been rescuing them. Lily had discovered the helpless pups and, driven by her own maternal instincts, had taken it upon herself to save them. One by one, she had carefully brought each puppy back home, unable to leave them behind. The reason she hadn't moved them all at once was simple. The journey was too dangerous, and Lily understood that one puppy at a time was all she could manage. The truth of Lily's heroism hit the family like a wave of relief. The cat they had once thought of as simply a beloved pet was now revealed to be a guardian angel in disguise, saving lives with nothing but love and an incredible, unwavering instinct. The Andersons couldn't believe their eyes when they saw how Lily had taken care of the puppies, nursing them, keeping them safe, and treating them with a devotion only a mother could understand. Lily wasn't just an extraordinary cat. She was a true hero, and in that moment, the Anderson family realized just how blessed they were to have her in their lives. The entire neighborhood's perception of Lily would change forever, as the cat who had once been viewed with suspicion would now be celebrated for her kindness and bravery. As soon as the truth about Lily's incredible actions spread through the town, everything began to change. Word of the heroic cat who had selflessly saved the puppies from danger traveled faster than anyone had imagined. What once started as suspicion and gossip transformed into admiration and respect. The community, which had been divided, now saw Lily for what she truly was, a symbol of compassion. The Anderson family found themselves at the center of a wave of support. Neighbors who once whispered doubts now approached the family with warm smiles and kind words. People who had been critical of Lily's actions now praised her for her kindness and bravery. They realized that Lily's actions weren't driven by selfishness, but by love, something that could not be ignored. Even the local vet, who had once been stunned by Lily's ability to nurse the puppies, offered to treat the sick mother dog for free. The community rallied behind the Andersons, offering help wherever it was needed. From food donations to supplies, people came together in a way that no one had anticipated, all because of one cat's selfless act of kindness. But Lily's wisdom didn't stop there. As the biological mother dog recovered, Lily didn't show jealousy or resentment. Instead, she allowed the mother dog to bond with her puppies, stepping back with a quiet grace, yet remaining a loving guardian. It was as if she knew that her role had changed, not just as a mother, but as a protector, ensuring the pups would always be safe. Lily's story didn't just touch the town. It reached far beyond that. Her tale of compassion, of a mother's love and sacrifice, spread across social media, where it touched hearts around the world. People from all corners of the globe marveled at her heroism, and Lily became an international symbol of what love, kindness, and selflessness truly look like. But the impact of Lily's legacy didn't stop at the borders of the Andersons' home. It rippled through the town, changing how people treated one another. The small acts of kindness that followed Lily's story were countless. Neighbors helped neighbors more often, people became more patient and understanding, and a spirit of compassion took root in every corner of the town. Lily's legacy wasn't just about what she did for the puppies. It was about how her actions inspired an entire community to be better, kinder, and more caring. The town had been forever changed by the love and wisdom of a simple cat. And as the years passed, her story continued to inspire not just the Andersons, but everyone who had witnessed her remarkable journey of love, loyalty, and compassion. As the weeks passed, the Andersons couldn't help but reflect on just how much Lily had changed their lives. She hadn't just saved puppies. She had brought their entire community together. What had once been a small family home, filled with a cat and her adopted puppies, was now a symbol of what love and compassion could do when given the chance. Grace, Sarah, and Mike often found themselves in deep conversation about the ripple effect of Lily's actions. The kindness she had shown, the selflessness she displayed, had not only transformed their lives, but had touched the hearts of so many others. Their neighbors had changed too. People who once lived in isolation or suspicion now looked out for one another with more empathy and understanding. Lily had taught them all an important lesson. That kindness, no matter how small, could make a world of difference. In the years that followed, the Andersons continued to honor Lily's legacy in the best way they knew how, by giving back. They became more involved in the local animal shelter, adopting animals in need and offering their support to other families. The lessons Lily had taught them were embedded in their everyday lives, helping the less fortunate, being patient, and always showing kindness to those who needed it most. Lily's actions had forever shifted the fabric of their community. It wasn't just the Andersons who felt this change. It was everyone. The neighborhood had embraced generosity and kindness, with each day offering a new opportunity to make a positive impact. And in the quiet moments, when Grace would sit on the porch, watching the sun set, she would smile and remember the small cat with a big heart who had shown them all that love and compassion can truly come from the most unexpected places. Lily wasn't just a pet. She was a reminder that one small act of kindness can spark a wave of change, a reminder that love transcends all boundaries, and that, sometimes, the most important lessons in life come from those we least expect. If you enjoyed this heartfelt story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing tales. Your support keeps us going.